Welcome to the INFOWARS Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It is July 28th, 2016. Now, we have something a little different for you here tonight. We recently wrapped up our 28-hour broadcast. This was Operation Sleeping Giant. It was our fundraiser in Super Sale, and I do believe if you go to InfoWarsShop.com, you can still catch some of the tail end of those great deals. But in addition to all the specials and the things that were available to purchase, we also brought you a ton of original content. Myself, Alex Jones, Leanne McAdoo, David Knight, and the list goes on and on, all the live presenters who were there for you to present you with all the material. And we're going to have a boil down of some of that in case you did not have a chance to watch it live. We're going to have Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins, also radio host George Norrie, syndicated nationwide, and the so-called comedian who spit on Alex Jones at the RNC. All this is coming up right here on the INFOWARS Nightly News.
People have to see this thing. It's laying bricks. Okay, it's a giant articulating robot arm, and it's literally laying a house out in bricks. And that got me, because I built houses, and I saw the bricklayers who worked, family businesses. These guys were multi-generational. The old man was building the bricks. The older boy was bringing the mortar. The young kid was breaking it up and mixing it. I mean, those jobs are going to be gone, yes, but there's going to be other jobs that take the place of those. And still, you're going to have people living in these houses. You're going to have this equipment that's going to have to be moved and manufactured and repaired. There's going to be other jobs out there, but if we don't have any jobs whatsoever, you know, we're just going to go back, slip into that third world status that we're going into right now. But yeah, what do you think when you see things like that of computers being able to build and print houses, literally, you know, not out of thin air, but by themselves almost?
Well, technology has always made our lives easier, and there's always been a fear of technology, whether you're in a field that will end up left in the dust because of technology, or you think your field will be completely replaced by technology. That fear has always existed, I think, just in the working man and in the job world. So, but who's gonna program these robots? Who's gonna design these robots? You know, they're gonna have to be teams of people that are doing this. So, yeah, there's gonna be new jobs created. The issue that I hope we don't see is that we don't have enough people to fill those jobs. I mean, I couldn't program a robot to build a house. I don't know about you. I know people that could, but we need to push more people in that direction. What we need to do is we need to start pushing people in the direction of careers and trades and things that they can learn, that they can actually use in the future. The higher education system is so outdated for probably, I mean, 75% of college graduates probably don't really learn anything in college that they were going to use in the real world. It's just a matter of, did you study? Did you do enough to pass? Did you study this and do this and that and all that other stuff? And I think that there's a lot of people that are relating to this now. So I think the answer is, if you think that there's not going to be jobs, then go into engineering or be a doctor. These are jobs that we know we're going to need in the future. Someone's going to have to design the machines, and someone's going to have to try to repair that person's arm when the machine malfunctions and rips it off. So I think that new jobs will be created, just as jobs are destroyed by machines, which a lot of people are seeing inevitable at this point. And then, of course, you have the people on top of this who think that robots will just replace all humans at some point in time, and the human element is not even in their picture. That's what we need to avoid.
Yeah, that I totally agree with you there. That is definitely something that could be scary, as a apocalypse type scenario where the Terminator robots say, we don't need humans, we're just going to turn you into batteries now. And then we get something like what we see with the Matrix. But I think it's interesting that, you know, if you look back when the car was created, people are like, what about all these horses? What about all these stable guys? What about all this industry that were created around the horse and carriage? Well, it was replaced with a new industry, and people still had jobs, but you had to change and adapt. And that's the world we're looking at, is changing and adapting, but it's going to be a little faster than every 1 or 2 generations. It's going to be, you're going to have multi-generational adaptations going on, but the good thing is that information is available to us. And I will point out that the cover of this month's Consumer Reports said, I'm paraphrasing, going to college ruined my life. These people are in massive debts, and they can't get jobs in order to support that $100,000 debt that they have that is basically worthless to them. So it is an interesting world, but there will be places for people like you and me who go out and report news and make horrible memes like this. Check out this meme, guys, on the camera. I put this one out. the face you make when you catch a Triggly Turk, and it's me and Alex on camera. Someone else shot this. I think this video ended up on World Star Hip Hop. It transcended everything when Alex went up on the Young Turk show on Media Row for the RNC, and everybody went crazy. So put your Triggly Turk memes out there, just as Joe Biggs coined it the other day. And that's how, I think that's one way we can educate people, is with these little memes. Make people see things differently, and they chuckle, and but it sticks with you. It's like, oh yeah, that guy is a total sellout. He's a total freak who loves to talk about other people, and then his other co-hosts are fat shaming people and get caught basically being giant hypocrites.
All right, I got to ask you a question about that. Were they live on air when you guys went on the stage, or were they just recording?
I think it was live, because they said they cut their live stream. I heard somebody say that, and one of the producers came up as she was pushing my camera, like thinking I'm going to move. She didn't even ask me. She just starts pushing my camera, and I go, don't touch me, don't touch me. She goes, we're live right now. And I said, okay. And I moved out of the way of their camera, but I'm there to shoot video of Alex, and I'm not moving for anybody, especially their arbitrary lines that they think they develop, and they own the whole place now because they're the Young Turks pushing propaganda. That's go ahead.
Cool, because I've never, ever seen, there's never been a response in any sort of a media scrum that I can think of like that on a live set ever. I mean, that was unbelievable how they behaved.
Yeah. Totally. And hey, if people out there haven't seen this, I think we have some playlists up on our channel. But if you go to, I think you talk, so the Van Jones interview that we did a 30-minute interview of Van Jones. Actually, Owen did most of the talking.
He shared it on his Facebook too.
Oh, he did? Yeah. Oh. Well, I find that surprising, but that was, he didn't do that bad, and I've kind of changed my opinion of Van Jones. Van Jones versus Carl the Cuck Slayer, Ultimate Street Debate, 324,000 views right there, a 31-minute debate in the hot sun. All right, and I do think you won, though, because at the end, Van Jones was so flabbergasted, he left his bag, his CNN bag, with all of his stuff. He forgot it.
That's a good point. I did woozy him enough that he left his bag there. And I think, honestly, it was more of an interview. There was kind of some debate going on. But more than anything, I think what we captured was a real person.
Yeah.
And I still say, from watching Van Jones on TV, it's just a different guy. I can't really put my finger on it. But there were some things that Van Jones said in the street that I got him to say that he would never be allowed to say on the mainstream news, ever.
Right.
Especially when he was like, when I brought up the hands up, don't shoot, and he basically took a second and said, we rush to conclusions. I mean, he basically admits, yeah, we run with false narratives. I mean, that's a kind of, maybe he meant that, maybe he didn't, but that's also another way that you could look at him saying that. But I think that it was a very powerful moment that shows that the left and the right can be brought together on issues, even if it's someone as extreme left as Van Jones and as extreme right as me.
And he said at the end of that, one thing we have to do is come together and talk. And that's right. And that's something that we do a lot of. You've done it. You've proven it time and time again that you go out there and talk. You don't degrade people, but you challenge them with ideas and facts, and you're very quick to come back. So right now, at this moment in time right here, where it's at 3:29 Central Time, I've talked with Alex. We're going to offer you a job. We're going to fly you down here and give you the interview and do everything. And I just want to do it right here live on the air. We'd love to have you out here, and I think there's definitely a place for you here in the INFOWARS family.
Well, I don't know if you can tell that I'm blushing right now. I'm a little sunburnt from the pool yesterday, but when I woke up from my sheeple state and I found INFOWARS, I can't tell you how much of a dream it is, and it's because you guys are the tip of the spear. And like you said, man, I want to be the tip of the spear. I want to engage in debate. I want to awaken humanity. People are so powerful. If they just knew how much power they had, we could make the world a better place in a heartbeat.
And I'll tell you a little secret. At the end of that 31-minute interview, I turned the camera to you and I said, close it out. And you closed it out and you ended with, "This is Owen Schrayer for Infowars.com." And that to me said, you were the right person for this job, because even after 30 minutes in the hot sun, you still remember to say your name and who you work for. So, and you don't even work for us at the time. You were just like, boom, you're in the zone. You knew what to say.
Hey, did you even look at the resume I sent you?
Yes, I just looked at it.
Okay. Hey, I'm qualified, man.
I know. You've been doing radio. You've been doing. You're more than qualified to come in here and do. Here's the thing. Everybody does a lot of jobs here. There's not just one job. There's a multitude of jobs, and you know how to do. You know how to do technical stuff. You know how to get in front of the camera, and we're gonna make sure you know how to edit and shoot camera.
And let me just say this, because there's a lot of people that know this about me. Rob, I've been working in sports media for over 5 years. You know that. I've been obsessed with sports my whole life, and there were a lot of people that wanted this moment to come. They wanted me to finally get out of sports and into news and politics. So I hope I can't wait to get down there. I can't wait to see your guys' studios. I hope you guys are ready for me. I'm planning on bringing the heat. I think that your staff wants to bring the heat too. I can't wait to work with Alex Jones. It's beyond an honor. And let's sharpen that tip of the spear. I'm going to get there. I'm going to sharpen that bad boy.
Good. That's what I want to hear. Now stand by. I got David Knight waiting in the wings. But I want you to hang out here for the rest of the hour and pop in if you got anything to say. Just kind of raise your hand and they'll let me know that you want to say something. And we'll go.
Elizabeth Warren, Heil Hitler.
Oh, she did it too. They caught her doing it. Amazing during her speech. But no, you won't hear the left say anything about that. David Knight, where are you right now in Philadelphia?
David Knight here at the convention center. We're at right in front of Barack Obama at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, he's just there. He's not photobombing us. He's actually a standee.
He's pretty much a cardboard cutout of what he is.
That's right. And, of course, they're asking him, it's interesting. We see this narrative about the Russians being behind this leak. That's what they're trying to push out there to get everybody off of the content. But I think also to try to attack Trump, try to hang this around him.
Yes,
I've been thinking about, yes.
Yeah, Trump called people taco eaters.
That's right.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Yeah, big deal. Well, the thing is, I was just telling Michael Zimmerman, if you want to look for a state actor behind these email leaks, I would look at the United States, because these are people who just saw Hillary Clinton expose our most vital secrets and get away with it. Okay, and that was just about a month ago or so. So I think these people, if they're worth their salt, if they take their job seriously, they would make sure that she's not going to get in the White House, even if she's not going to be going to prison. And I think if you want to know somebody if it's somebody that's outside of some independent hackers that are working with WikiLeaks, I would look at that place. But yeah, it's interesting, I think, Rob, when we look at the fact that they're putting out these conspiracy theories. And, of course, we've got conspiracy theories coming from George Will saying, hey, he doesn't want us to see his tax returns because there's probably information in there where he's working with Russian oligarchs. There's absolutely no evidence of that. And they point that out. And yet here they are floating all these unfounded conspiracy theories. They've always said, hey, you guys are conspiracy theorists when we question their official narrative. But here they are putting out a positive narrative for which they have absolutely no proof and trying to use that to get everybody diverted. I think we ought to call this Watergate 2.0. They've got their plumbers now who are working on trying to control this leak, who are trying to control the damage. And it is very much like Watergate, if you remember.
This is a torrent flood of lies. This is torrent floodgate 2.0. This isn't even water. This isn't a trickle.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous what she's done on so many levels.
Massive. It's massive, but I think the parallels going back to Watergate are the fact that you had somebody who was running. I mean, here was Nixon. He was running for re-election. He was in a very strong position, and yet he was so paranoid, so grasping for power, that he would break into these other places and then create this massive cover-up to try to cover up what he did and so forth and so on. And we understand the involvement of the CIA and the FBI and the fact that there was evidence of a coup there as well. So there's a lot of parallels going back to the 1970s to Richard Nixon. I think especially the fact that she continues to insist that she's not a crook when everybody knows that she is. Everybody knew that Richard Nixon was a crook, even though he kept saying he wasn't. And I think Hillary Clinton is going to go down in history like another Richard Nixon.
Yeah, I agree. And what's funny is we had the Hillary for Prison banner driving around Independence Square on Monday. And I would, after it go by, I'd go and ask people what they thought of it. And I had this one guy in the tri-corner hat, and he said, "Oh, they should be putting other people in prison like Nixon." Well, I'm sorry, Nixon's dead, man. We got to work on the criminals now. If we don't start somewhere, yeah, exactly. Let's dig him up and put him in jail. If we don't start now, well, how are we to say we didn't learn? That was your generation's fault that you didn't put him in jail. It's not my fault, okay?
Yeah.